Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now our phone lines are open. You can call in to make your contributions, ask your questions. Our phone lines are there on your screen. And our guest for this morning is Richard Oriri, who is a politician. It's great to have you on the show.
It's my pleasure.
7 days to Christmas.
Yes, and we are here.
Are you getting ready? How ready are you?
Very much ready.
Yeah, politicians.
Politicians
are always ready.
Politicians are always ready.
They're 90% ready.
Yeah, and I am in Nigeria, and I'm not different from every other Nigerian.
Yeah, a Nigerian politician. And I hope the bags of rice, the oil, and the palliatives are ready to be.
Before Christmas, we will be eating rice. So it's not.
He's not sounding like a politician.
That was the intention. Anyways, you know. He said
what we should be talking about now is about the poor masses, those who really need the rice.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That I hope the bags of rice, the oil, and the palliatives, everything, they are ready to be disbursed to the masses.
And they're not in one warehouse.
You know, before now, the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given some palliative to state governors, and he has into cushioning the effect of the fuel
that's what fuel subsidy. We're talking about Christmas.
It's still part of the issue. It's still part of the problem.
But they know that it's never too much.
The moment the subsidy was removed, every price of every goods in Nigeria skyrocketed.
Richard, we are talking about like few weeks ago. We are talking of few weeks to come.
Few days to come.
Few days.
Just next Sunday.
What I'm trying to say, where I'm driving at here now is, you know, as Honorable Richard.
What I am saying in essence is that the first palliative was given to governors. Possibly the palliative for Christmas now will be given to House of Reps members and senators.
And so what happens to citizens?
They are the closest people to the masses. They are the closest people because they are yes.
You are a major stakeholder
in my own house and in my own community.
In your own community, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because when you mention Honorable Richard Oriri in your community, there's a level of expectation. We have Honorable Richard Oriri. The Christmas will be sweet for us, and that's exactly what I'm asking. I hope the bags of rice and everything.
They understand I'm not in government. They understand I only work where I work, where they know that I work. They understand my level, the level I can go. So they are not putting much pressure on me. The pressure now for Christmas, I think, goes to the representatives who are the elected officials.
Let's accept that political statement that you gave us and just move on. So don't overflog the matter. New Telegraph says Aviation. Federal government mulls 50% fare subsidy, and then the minister, or that's the airline minister, says both minister air operators hold strategic meeting. And then here's the one that actually interests me, that travelers to fill form and then give informations to, and these informations will be sent to CBN for 50% ticket price refund. So then I'm looking at the fact that those who paid over 100,000 to travel, it then means that if this meeting is being held and then they decide to reduce the amount to probably 50,000, even though Francis is looking at 11,000, I don't see it happening, but then we're still hopeful anything can happen. So if it's reduced to 50,000, do you see a situation where in Nigeria you have forms being filled and then people getting a refund? Because I've seen situations whereby you pay for airline and then you don't get to make that travel because of the airline's fault, not your fault. Now I've seen a situation where I paid for Dana Air, and then that was around the time where Dana Air was strike out because they had an issue with the government. But then coming back, I went to ask for a refund of my money. They told me they cannot give me money unless they're going to give me another flight. And then in the another flight, I still had to pay more money, what was commensurate with the amount that was being paid that time. So in my mind, I'm like, you did not refund me at all. So if this is Nigeria and we already know how things happen, are you optimistic about the fact that this set of government agencies, the minister coming out to say that people will get a refund if they have that meeting and then reduce the amount of money? Because I also hear Francis talk about how his friend was supposed to travel to watch football, and then when he paid for the ticket, he was not able to go again because of there were no seats. He got a refund. Can we see that happening in Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Annabel. That policy is designed to fail. Yes, the policy is designed to fail, and the reason I said the policy is designed to fail is this: there's no how somebody who is sincere, with what he or she is doing in his ministry or her ministry, will come up to say, citizens who have the intention of traveling, once you get to the airport, you fill form, whichever amount you have, you pay. Later, we will refund you. They should have that meeting with the agencies, the business owners of these airlines. They should have that meeting with them. If the policy is designed for them to have the meeting with the airline operators, fine and good. But they should separate citizens from it. Your own is, as you are going, if the fare from Abuja to Lagos is 200,000, you know that you are going to pay 100,000. The airline operators will have your detail. This person traveled, and this is the amount he paid. At the end of the month, they put everything together and meet the government for
a refund.
For a refund to the agency.
But the money goes to government.
Not to citizens. No, it's the government that will pay the balance.
More like
yes. It's the government that will pay the airline operators the balance. But they should separate citizens out of it, because if you go with your 200,000 and you pay the 200,000, fill the form, at the end, the same government operator, the same government officials who designed this policy, at the end they will not refund your money and they will eat it. They will be defrauding Nigerians and still defrauding government. They will be defrauding citizens and still defrauding.
Are you referring to airline operators?
I am telling you that the policy formulators, they design these policies to fail, or they design it to feed fat from the policy. So
who are these people you're talking about?
I am talking about the Ministry of Aviation.
Okay.
Yes, they design it either to feed fat from it, or to use it to defraud Nigeria or defraud the federal government. Because at the end, if you go to Lagos, to Abuja International Airport now, to go to Lagos, and the fare is 200,000, you pay the 200,000 naira, fill the form. 1 month, 1 year, you've not seen your refund. There's no how you go to the operators and say, I've not seen my refund, pay me. Who will you go and report to federal government? Say, give me my money. You will not even have that time. They know Nigerians don't have such time. So if it's designed in that way, then they have something very different to do with the balance. So the policy is not to serve you. The policy is to serve them. So it's not policy that anybody should talk about. But if they are having the arrangement with the business owners of this airline, then fine. Because them as business owners, as capitalists, there is no how they will not get the money from government.
All right.
They must get the money from government. But leaving it for you to be pressing on government to give you your refund, you will not have that time. And at the end, they will eat it.
All right, now,
it's not a good policy.
You've mentioned the fact that it's not a good policy. But then, recently, the Minister of Aviation, I'm talking about Festus Keyamo, has been in the news for various reasons. And he has made some very sensitive assertions on the news, which he tried to portray the fact that he's bringing a lot of drastic reforms into the aviation sector. Because if you can book a flight ticket online, make payment online, why should you be why do you have to come to the airport and fill a form to get a refund? So do you think, I'm delving away from the initial headliner, do you think with the minister's moves so far, do you think he can actually bring that much needed reform in the aviation sector? Do you think he can? Because let's tell ourselves the truth, the aviation sector is one sector that is in need for an urgent reform.
Now, if he's sincere about what he's doing, he will get to a point where another person that will come after him will pick from there. If he's sincere about it. And like 2 days or 4 days ago, I heard of a sack of some directors in the aviation sector, and possibly that is usual. It's not something new to us again. Because if you come on board like this, what you do first is to think on how to bring your men on board. Maybe possibly the people that were sacked are not people that he can work with. And possibly the former minister of aviation replace those people there, and he don't want them to be there and turn to torchlight on his administration. And the best thing to do is to find a way on how to push them out, and he has done that. Now the people that will be recruited or that will be brought on board to working with him, they might possibly be his ally. So that is how it has been. That is why government in Nigeria will hardly succeed, because once you come, the policy of the other person, even if it's beautiful, if it's very good, you push it aside and come up with your own. If another person come again, you push your own aside and come up with his own. So there's this issue of a policy trust with Nigerian government officials. So if he's sincere, just as I said, if he's sincere, if he has the political willpower to do it, he will do it. And as an activist, he's a lawyer, he's an activist, we know him to be an activist. It's of recent that we started seeing him picking government appointment. If not before now, Festus Keyamo is not known for such. And now that he's in government, there's no how he will not play the card the way the normal politicians plays it. So if he's sincere about it, and if he has the interest of Nigerians at heart, and he too, he uses air to travel. So if he reform it in a way and manner that we will serve the whole Nigerians, he too will benefit from it, because he will be part of the people that will make use of the airspace.
All right, let's go to other stories on politics. You have on almost all the nationwide, all the national daily this morning, but we'll take it from Matrix. The Matrix says, Wike Fubara face-off continues. Pro-Wike lawmakers reject 2024 budget. Clear your name by intervening now. Coming from Yoruba group, as they tell Tinubu. Then you have Rivers Labour Party gubernatorial candidate Itubu sues for peace. And then we hear Wike talking tough with regards to peace, saying that he's calling for peace and then he wants peace to happen. Then Daily Sun says Rivers G27 leader rejects passage of budget, accuses lawmakers that they are loyal to Fubara of contravening laws. Purported order stopping sack of 27 lawmakers goes viral. COP, that's Coalition United CUPP rather, I beg your pardon. They allege fresh plot to impeach governor. Now let's get your reaction to this. I heard Wike a few days, I think it was this weekend, where he says he's talking about peace, he wants peace to happen, and then I hear some other person say he should not come to daring him that he must not come to Rivers State or Port Harcourt. But then he was there. But with all that is happening, and they have the lawmakers who left they're giving reasons, whatever reasons. I don't want to bring that up now. So in all of this, do you actually see this problem getting a solution anytime soon? And what are your thoughts in this regard?
There is no problem that cannot be solved. The only thing is the political actors having the willpower to solve it, to truly sit as actors in the matter and solve the crisis. Now, Wike has come out to say he needs peace. If from the camp of Wike, which he is the leader.
But if he say he needs peace, he also said don't burn the ladder that took you up. Isn't that contradictory?
That has been the saying all this while. You don't. It's very wrong for you to push the ladder that take you up down, because another person will still need that ladder to climb up. But you saying it, have you done that before? That is the question. But the issue at hand now is how Rivers will be at peace, because Rivers State as a state is a state where the whole Nigerians, this country, feed fat from. If there's crisis in Rivers, our revenue will deplete, and for the revenue not to deplete, we need to put our hands together to ensure that there's peace in Rivers State. Now they say there's a court order, purported court order endorsing the sack of the 27 lawmakers and not recognizing them anymore as lawmakers, directing, and then the 4 other lawmakers who are the supporters of the sitting governor, declaring the seat of the 27 lawmakers vacant. If truly there is a court order, that court order ought to be obeyed. If there is no other substituting order, pushing that aside, setting aside the first order, then that order, because we are operating in a democratic government, and for the fact that we are operating, we are practicing democracy, the indices of democracy, one is rule of law.
Rule of law.
So the rule of law have to be obeyed. If you, who is in position of authority, you are there because the law says you will be there, then you still have to obey the same law when it's come to your own issue. Now there is a court order. That court order, what they should do now, the 27 lawmakers, is for them to find a way to see how that order, the first order against them, will be set aside. If it is set aside, then they say they should talk about peace. If it is peace, then they have to go on the round table.
Don't you think that these questions, these talks about ideology, like me and Francis were saying, that some politicians are just anywhere belle face na front politician?
No, it's not.
So it means that because now they left and then APC is throwing their arms open to receive them.
Yes.
So it now means that anybody can leave and then the other person is more like throwing shades.
Yeah,
let me just borrow that song that Wike's camp the other time was singing, if they pain them as they sweet us. But then the footballers camp is singing day your day, make I day my day. What is
Nigerian politics? That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. They have the right to jump ship. And in politics, party politics, that is what they are playing now. You as a citizen, you have the right to choose the particular political party you want to belong to. And possibly they have seen the manifesto of APC to be better than the
one that brought them in.
Of PDP.
Than the one that brought them in.
That brought them in.
I'm talking about
interesting.
If there is crisis in your party, you have every right. If there is crisis, because it's in the constitution, if there is crisis within your party, you have the right to shift, to defect. But if there is no crisis in the party and you are defecting, then it has no meaning.
Yes, that's it.
If there is no crisis in the party and you are defecting, then it has no meaning. But from the look of things now, from the beginning, even before the general election, PDP was engulfed with crisis. First, it was Obi, a former governor of Annabel State, who pulled out because of the crisis before the primary election, because he wanted to be PDP presidential candidate, and there was fight within the party, and he chickened out as a calculator. He calculated what will happen if he goes in, and he chickened out. And after that, the 5 other governors, including Wike himself, they pulled out of Atiku's camp. They were all in PDP. They pulled out, and not till today. That division is still within the party. They have not resolved. So the PDP as a party today they are not together. And for the fact that they are not together, if you have focus and as a politician who don't want, as a politician who will not want to be stagnated, the best thing you do is to look for a way where you can stand firm and be strong in your circle. So maybe possibly because the elders of the PDP, they have not come together to say that the crisis before the primary election, the crisis even within after the primary election, and even within the period of a general election, that has over destroyed the party. How to bring all the actors together to resolving themselves. No one has taken that move. And for the fact that no one has taken that move, these 27 member lawmakers in the Rivers Assembly, possibly they have seen that if that continues, they may not have political future. Right. So the best thing to do is to look for alternative, and that is possibly the alternative that they have found within themselves. So there is no how anyone will question their action. Yes, there's no how anyone will question their action, and they have defected. If they have defected, they are still members of they are elected members of Rivers Assembly. But for the fact that there's a court order, against them, what they should do now is to go and see how that court order will be set aside. But that they are not Rivers Assembly, they are Rivers Assembly members.
So by your submission now, you said when there's a crisis in the party and they are saying that they may not be having political future, they can jump the ship. Is it that they only discovered that their political future is not guaranteed after the feud between Wike and Fubara? That's one. Then secondly, talking about jumping ship, the Nigerian Constitution clearly gave the conditions that must be met before you can jump, before you can cross carpet. I'm referring to the amended Electoral Act 2022, which is that your party must be in crisis at the national level, not at the state. Not at the state level.
The party is in crisis at the national level.
The PDP has an acting chairman. Iyacha Ayu, there's a court order against him that has restrained him from parading himself as the party chairman, which he has obeyed to the latter. And the issue with the PDP now is the issue of the national secretary of the party. As a politician, can you sincerely hold on to that as a reason to jump ship?
All right, let's quickly take this.
There's a clear crisis in PDP.
Hello, good morning.
From national to every level.
Good morning, sir.
There's a clear crisis in PDP.
How was your night?
Very well, thank you, sir. Chief Ari, will go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Thank you very much. My regards to Mr. Adeniyi. It has been a while. And my very good friend, Mr. Richard Oriri.
Good morning, sir. Happy Christmas in advance.
Thank you, God bless you. You see, I want to quickly contribute to what is happening in Rivers. You see, what is happening in Rivers is what I call political immorality. Political immorality, or better still, I call it to seek a political prostitute. You see, people who, in my own opinion, people who don't have conscience. They say conscience is a scale that tells you what is wrong and what is right. Those people who had defected, they defected. There is no crisis in PDP. You see, we have to be very careful. This is how it started in the western region, whereby there was problem in the west. We saw the time that Adeniyi, the famous slogan that that is peculiarness. What is happening is peculiarness. We should allow democracy to reign so that there will be peace in Nigeria. From what I am seeing, you see, if care is not taken, there is going to be a problem between two ethnic, the Ijaws and the other tribe. So we should try as much as possible to prevent that. There should be another tomorrow. God bless our country, Nigeria.
God bless you, Pharaoh. Thank you so much for your contribution. You can go ahead, Richard.
While you're making a contribution, I'd love you to react to Fubara's demolition of the River State Assembly also.
But what the elders has just said is he spoke well like a true statesman. What we all need today in Rivers is peace. If there is peace in Rivers, there will be peace all over Nigeria, because all of us, every state of the federation, feed from River State because of the oil deposit in that state. And secondly, the demolition of Rivers Assembly, the two factions, the two parties to the issue, all of them have reasons to say, this one will have his own reason to say the demolition was not in order. And the other party that have demolished the state assembly will have reasons to say the demolition was in order. They say that state assembly was built by Governor Adeniyi, was built by Governor Adeniyi, and if you check the year, it has taken long time now. But to be frank, what has happened there happened because of the crisis currently rocking the Rivers State Assembly. And for the fact that no single pin was taken out of the assembly before the demolition is another. Who is bearing the loss? It's Rivers people. Why is Fubara and the Wike that are fighting? then the entire state will bear the loss of whatever. Even documents in the assembly, documents, all the administrative documents now, nobody can tell where they are. Even if it's not good, but for the fact that to them they have money, no matter what it takes, anything they destroy, they can even build it in 1 week. Rivers has money, but that is not enough. No matter how rich you are, you cannot just waste public resources the way they are doing it in River State.
All right, let's
and Fubara, they should come together, and no matter the fight, anyhow there is war. Even when there was a world war, First World War, Second World War, what is in the mind of the warlords is no other thing but peace. Even if you go to Ukraine and Russia now, what is in their mind is how to get peace. If you go to Hamas and Israel, what is in their mind now? The people fighting the war, what is in the mind of every person fighting war is how to get peace. They should look back and see that women, children, elderly people
losses
in the state, they are the one bearing their own the brunt. So they should show their sword.
Let's leave it at that as we move straight to other stories, and our time is fast spent. If you can help us in few minutes, 2 minutes, 2 questions, and I'd like you to take them together. One is Daily Independent says Nigeria cannot move forward by suppressing Ndibo. And who is saying so? That's coming from Senator Naya Abaribe. Says Nigeria cannot move forward by suppressing Ndibo. And I remember some time ago, former president and elder statesman Olusegun Obasanjo made almost similar statement where he talked about Igbophobia, that talked about how the Igbos are being suppressed, talked about the hatred for Igbos, and then that statement went viral at that point. So now him coming, the senator coming out to say that Nigeria cannot move forward by suppressing Ndibo. What exactly are your thoughts? Does it actually mean that there is so much pressure from other ethnic group on the Igbo people, especially with regards to Nnamdi Kanu's case, because we've seen how it has also moved in the past few days, weeks, years, months. Now that's one on the side. And then secondly, I saw a particular, that's still on Daily Independent, says Serap sues INEC over failure to prosecute electoral offenders in Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa. And in my mind, what's the point of arresting them if you cannot prosecute them?
First, let me take it from that of the suppression of Ndibo. What is happening between Igbos and other major ethnic groups in Nigeria? Because the minority ethnic groups, you can't count us when it comes to the fight against the major ethnic groups. I am an Idoma by tribe. I am from an ethnic group, very minority ethnic group. But the 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria, the Yorubas, the Igbos, and the Hausas, is all about politics. And you who play the cards well will have your benefit and your interest sustained. And from the look of things, I don't see the Igbos being suppressed the way the other statesmen have put it.
Okay.
The areas where all of us we are agitating is that if the Yorubas have benefited from the seat of presidency and the Hausa have benefited from the seat of presidency, we should all join hands together to see how Igbos will equally benefit. But even if you are to benefit in politics, you don't just give, you take. And before you take, you have to use negotiation. You have to use wisdom. You have to use diplomacy to getting it done. You don't use force in democracy. You don't use force.
Are you saying
so
that
now what I am saying,
diplomacy? They did not use.
They have not played. They have not played the cards well. From about 8 or 7 years ago. Somebody like Dave Umahi has been agitating and pushing for the Igbo presidency. They tagged him, the rest of the Igbo people tagged him a Yoruba person. Rocha Sokoroja did the same thing. There is every need for us to lobby the other part of the country instead of being antagonistic. but some other section of Igbos tagged him Okoro Hausa. There's no how if you don't love
so you say Igbos are the problems of Igbos.
I can say most of the Igbo youth, they are the problem. They are the one antagonizing the other ethnic groups. And this ethnic group that you are antagonizing, the other major ethnic groups that you are antagonizing, during election time, you will need them to give you vote. The best thing you do in politics, even your worst enemy, you can go lie down for the person to get what you want.
Okay.
So the Igbos in this area, they have not played their card well.
Okay, so
if they play their card well, majority of the minority ethnic groups in this country, they are ready to support. You say the way minority ethnic groups supported will be in this 2023 election. All
right, Richard, our time is fast.
Then the second question there is that it's about prosecution of electoral offenders. There have been this agitation of court, electoral offenders court of a team. If there is such a team, there's no how to prosecute election offenders will be easy in this country because the major players in this game, they are the executive officials and the legislative arm. They are the one that I may conduct election for. And these people they are committing offense against the electoral act, they are supporters.
All right.
So anyhow, if you arrest them, before you know tomorrow, they are out of police hand.
Thank you so much.
Is it INEC that will go and say, bring this person, it's not possible.
Thank you so much, Richard Oriri,
politician.
It's been a wonderful time having this discussion with you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you once again.
All right, our time is fast spent, so we'll take only one social media video, and this one is a particular church members who moved their church away from a particular position to their pastor's house because their pastor wife refused to give them tea. Let's see that one.